It's the Guitar Dads!
Welcome to the Guitar Dads Podcast, a podcast for guitar dads by guitar dads. This week, we're not your stepping stone free. We are the champions of royalties. Paramount Plus is one step behind. And new segments are dropping faster than Vince Neil's chances of touring again. It's Fool for Your Lovin', no more. This week on the Guitar Dads Podcast. Now, two guys slacking more than sevens on a Lester, Matt and Dave.
Hello, everybody. I'm Matt.
I'm Dave. What's up? Welcome to the pod. What did you find funny this
Lester,
time?
sevens on a Lester. Who am I, Billy Gibbons?
Yes, absolutely.
They got a lot of nice ladies there.
So what's up? What are we doing? This is episode 21. Wow, 21 episodes.
Yeah, we're legal now, Dave.
We're illegal. Is that a thing?
We're of legal drinking age.
We're of legal podcasting age.
The podcast is of legal drinking age.
Let me see your ID.
I mean, that is exciting. So
that is very
you.
exciting. And it couldn't have been for all you. It couldn't have happened if it wasn't for everybody listening. So we appreciate all you guys out there, as we say every week. And what are we telling them to check out? Check us out on Instagram and Twitter at Guitar Dads Pod.
Yes.
You can obviously, if you're listening to this, you've found us on Apple or Spotify or wherever you like to
leave us a review. Yeah,
please leave reviews. Send an email to us about comments or things you'd like to hear on the show.
Yeah.
Our email address is guitardadspodcast@gmail. So please, send us
send
comments.
It over.
We're on YouTube. Check us out, Guitar Dads. There, these pods are always posted on there in case you missed something. And look forward to new content coming soon.
Yes, so, thank you for listening. We love you guys. We didn't think we'd actually get to episode 21.
Yeah, so, this is pretty, but we're just cool. We're just excited.
Yeah, we're excited, but we're just getting warmed up. So
we are just getting
rolling here, guys. So, thank you.
So speaking of rolling, what are we going to start with here? We're going to get into our news and notes segment,
Let's get into some news, some rock and roll news.
Rock and roll news, yeah.
What do you got,
let's
Dave?
we're gonna kind of quick fire this one a little bit tonight. So did you see this? Loudwire published a top list of weird tour pairings, like history of like weird tour pairings.
Oh yeah,
there's a couple of good ones on there, but I actually found this one kind of two of them kind of interesting. Did you know that at one point Jimi Hendrix and the Monkees were on the same tour?
No, that's unbelievable.
That's kind of weird, right?
Jimi Hendrix and the Monkees? It's so odd.
It's so odd. I wonder if it was, they didn't have it, I don't remember the date, but I wonder if it was like when the Monkees were coming up or something, they were open. I don't know, but it was, so Jimi Hendrix and the Monkees, yeah.
Well, the Monkees weren't even a real band. They were like a TV band.
Yeah,
that
so
thing
when
kind
did
of
the
turned
Monkees
into
TV
a
show
band.
happen?
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
It's a good question. When was that? That was in
Very
the
good
60s.
question.
Was it the 60s?
It was definitely the 60s. And I think that show ran for a while. But yeah, then they became like a real band, right? From the show?
Yeah, then it kind of turned into a real band.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to look them up to see like when they were a thing. It's spinning.
Well, another interesting tour pairing. This actually kind of didn't surprise me.
So it was later. It was 66 to 71 was the Monkees.
Okay, so all right. And then I wonder when did the Monkees tour with Jimi Hendrix?
No, I don't have no idea.
You
want me to Google that too? I got the Google machine.
Well. Yeah, hey, we're trying to provide information here to our listeners.
Monkees Jimi Hendrix tour. Man Googles on the internet. You guys could do this as well.
while you're Googling, we'll talk about the next one.
You guys could do this. 1967.
Wow.
So there you go.
I bet they opened, right?
Jimi Hendrix managed to get through a total of only 7 dates with the Monkees, culminating in his final show on July 17th, 1967.
Managed,
which may or may not have ended with Hendrix saluting the crowd with his middle finger. So he was the opener for the Monkees.
He was the opener. So
the Monkees were very popular at that time. The show was really popular, and it was Jimi Hendrix.
Well,
It was his
How do you
first.
like that?
It was his first American tour, and it was opening for the Monkees.
Wow.
Um,
That's interesting.
Jimi Hendrix, and so I'm reading this thing on history.com, and it says Jimi Hendrix drops out as opening act for the Monkees. So he knew these people were not his crowd.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
But that's
And
a
look
great.
what hap-
That's a great, like, obscure fact that they
That's
pulled
such
out
an
there.
obscure trivia thing.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
dropping knowledge on the Guitar Dads podcast.
Yeah, there you go. You heard it here. Well, I mean, you could have heard it like 50 years ago, but but yeah, it's a cool little tidbit there. What are some other ones that were on the list of weird?
So
tour
get
carriers?
this, one of your favorite bands, my favorite bands too.
Yeah.
U2 and Rage Against the Machine.
Oh wow! And
That's another interesting one.
It must have been Rage opening, obviously, because
I would assume it was Rage opening.
Wow,
because
that
of
is
the
quite a
time
tour.
frame.
The
Yeah,
only
can
thing
you
that
imagine
makes sense is the political angle. That's the only thing that makes sense.
Right.
The
'cause
music
because the music
definitely
is so
not.
different.
Yeah, the
No.
music definitely not. But I guess like people that are into those kind of politics and like super political bands, yeah, that makes sense in that sense. But
Makes sense
the
for that.
music
And I
is
wonder-
totally different.
Yeah, totally. I wonder if it was like a co-headlining thing. It might have been that. Who knows?
Probably not. I mean, I'm guessing. I mean, U2's been big for so long.
Very
you
long.
know.
Yeah.
All right, you want me to type that in the
All right,
Google
well,
machine
yeah.
too?
Hey, why don't you Google that? We
Want
move
to
on
type
to
that into the Google machine.
the next news.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did you hear this? Sad news in the world of music. Another final tour happening.
Yeah,
Whitesnake.
what's this? Well, Whitesnake, Coverdale.
Coverdale's taking this thing to the end. And my question is he gonna bring back all the old band members? It's gonna look like a Springsteen stage.
Okay, I just
comment.
got the Rage thing here. So
What year?
97.
That sounds about right.
Rage Against them is the Pop Mart.
Was that
tour.
the Zoo? Was that
Pop
Zoo?
Mart tour.
Oh, Pop Mart tour. All right.
U.S. Pop Mart tour. They opened so 96. Yeah, so they were just getting going and they opened anyway.
Yeah.
But we move on. We go back onto the Whitesnake tour. Yeah. Will he bring back all the members? Yeah, I mean maybe he will. That would be really cool. If he brought back everybody and it was like a different, or just they're all on stage the whole time, so it really is like is like a Springsteen show. Actually, speaking of this is like a 6 degrees of separation thing. You know this thing about how Tom Morello played with Springsteen like on like a tour?
You know what? Did I hear something? Yes.
Yeah. He literally did that. He played with the E Street Band on like an entire tour. I don't know why that happened, but apparently he's a huge Springsteen fan.
Well, because why not? Like everybody else is in that band. Why can't he be in that band?
It's a good point. Everyone else is in the. I mean, geez, he's got like 1 million people up there. Why not have Tom Morello in the mix?
I mean, there are orchestras on the planet that look at the E Street Band and go, "Wow, that's a lot of people on stage."
Yeah, like the Boston Pops are like, oh man,
Yeah,
we need a few more members.
Yeah, we're kind of small organization here.
But there's probably all these Springsteen fans like yelling at their radios right now, and they're like, "What are you talking about? Like, there's a reason why Tom Morello did that. I don't know what the reason is."
Yeah, we don't know what it is.
Guys,
send us a comment. Let us know.
But he
if
did.
You know, tell us.
But why? Yeah, this is so funny because Whitesnake has been really quiet for a long time. So now they're really going to go on a farewell tour.
Yeah, right, exactly. That was my first thought. Like, really, this is like Coverdale hasn't done anything for a few years.
Yeah.
And he hasn't really been that relevant for the last bunch of years.
For a long time. I mean, I mean, can he still like really sing? I mean, he's one of the greatest rock singers ever. I mean, incredible.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So is he still good? I mean, I haven't heard him perform live.
Maybe that's why he's doing a farewell tour.
Yeah, maybe he's
coming to his end.
Maybe he's had enough, So I don't know, Dave. Should we go see it?
Is this a Guitar Dad's concert? Yeah, I think it could be. I think
it could be
what
really
I'd like
cool.
Well, it's first you got to do your homework. You got to see, can he sing? Because if it's gonna just be kind of, Coverdale does the hits, but he can't sing them.
Oh yeah, but he's awesome. I bet he can do it.
I bet he can still do it.
Yeah, I bet he can figure it out. So
And it's definitely a show in that case I would want to check out for sure. Yeah.
Didn't they? I remember, like you said, like maybe a few years ago they went on a tour, or am I
I think
mistaken?
it's about 3 years ago.
Yeah,
4 years ago.
Probably
they
longer than
toured.
that. Probably more like
yeah.
5, 6 at this point.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So I think that was the last time that he was out. But
Interesting.
Yeah, so check this out. More news coming your way.
Yeah.
Did you know? Now, a lot of people did things different during the pandemic, right? People had to give up their jobs, take on new jobs, do different things, maybe do things temporarily.
Yeah.
Now, you know who Josh Todd is? He's the lead singer of Buckcherry.
Yep. Yeah.
And he decided to put music on hold, and apparently he got certified as a phlebotomist.
Well, he looks like a heroin addict anyway, so it's probably an expert on this.
He's an expert on needles. Sorry,
Josh,
Josh,
seriously, not to make light of people that are heroin addicts. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
No.
But
But
it's not a joke.
It's such a weird thing, right? I mean, a lot of guys and girls kind of did something different, but that's like such a distance thing from where you were, right? You're this rock and roll singer. Tats everywhere. You live in the rock and roll life, and then the pandemic hits, and you decide, I'm just gonna go draw people's blood.
Oh man, Buckcherry was all. You remember I was obsessed with them in high school?
Oh yeah. Now he can't. Speaking of can't sing like that anymore, he really can't sing.
Oh, he can't sing.
Anymore.
Do you remember they had a big hit in their first rockin' album, and then their second or third album they had this kind of ballad that got super popular. What was that song? It was I'm Sorry or something.
Something like that.
It was
I'm
sorry for the name, whatever it is. We're not going.
Crazy bitch wasn't a ballad.
Yeah, Crazy Bitch was not a ballad. So yeah, they had a few hits, but then they had their big breakout hit, which I thought was hilarious, was a ballad.
That's interesting.
Yeah. You don't usually see that with such a hard rocking band, but
no, but that's often what it takes to get more of the mainstream attention is the ballad.
Oh yeah,
right?
Totally. Yeah, I mean Aerosmith obviously went that route.
Oh,
they didn't even write.
They
didn't even write most of those ballads either. But they were massive hits for them. So
massive hits.
Massive hits. So Blackberry was doing that. But yeah, I think they're still active though, aren't they?
Yes, they are, and that's why I'm saying he can't sing anymore.
Buckcherry.
I've seen live stuff on YouTube, and it's just not. He just can't.
It's not as good.
He doesn't sound as good now. I mean, he had a great voice back in the day, but I think something's gone.
But both of those guitar players were awesome. There's some great guitar work on those albums.
Oh yeah,
my God.
Yeah.
It was such a rockin' band, So now kind of Dirty Honey's taken over for them. See, we had to mention Dirty Honey.
Had to mention Dirty Honey. Why? Because I got the shirt on.
Well, yeah, exactly. Got the shirt on, and I'm they're kind of carrying the torch of that type of music.
They absolutely
which
are
is
carrying
great.
the torch. Yeah,
which is really good. So. Anyway, speaking of heroin addicts,
Speaking of heroin addicts,
what's next on the list?
We thought we'd take this opportunity that recently both Slash and Nikki Sixx have celebrated many years of sobriety. Slash at 15 and Nikki Sixx at 20. So congratulations to them.
Wow, that's good. I was actually surprised to see that because I thought they were sober longer than that. But I guess it's really only 15 years for Slash, but still, I mean, I'm sure, I've said this before about Slash, and the same is true with Nikki Sixx. These guys are both guys that essentially almost died of, alcoholism and drug use, and the fact that they're still alive and still able to do what they do. Nikki Sixx had a really popular radio show for a long time, and he's involved in all kinds of stuff. They made the movie about Motley Crue. Supposedly they're going to go on this tour, but probably it's not going to happen because of Vince Neil. but Slash, we've kind of talked about Slash a lot, but I really feel like Slash is playing better than he's ever played. You go back and look, even when GNR was at their height. And you listen to his playing and how sloppy it was. Go watch him live. I don't mean on the albums. The albums were amazing, but go watch some of the old live stuff. And it is cool because it's kind of raw and really and fun to watch. But at the same time, you listen to his playing and you're like, oh, he was just wasted. And his playing, you could hear it in the playing. Right.
Yeah.
The same was true with Jimmy Page. A lot of his stuff, he was completely hammered. And that's why he, and these guys somewhat got this reputation as kind of sloppy players for those reasons. But But now I feel like Slash is just playing better than ever. It's kind of unbelievable. So really good to see that, they've been able to come out of that, kind of super addiction lifestyle,
Yeah, it's great. It is kind of crazy if you think about Slash the 15 years. That only brings you back to like 2006.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's not that long ago.
Yeah, so that means he was still like using or drinking, whatever his really vice was when Velvet Revolver was going.
Those are the Velvet Revolver days.
Yeah. Which makes sense. I mean, they were very successful. So, I'm sure the excess was happening then as well. But yeah, like I feel like, right around then, Dave, is really when he started his solo stuff, right?
Yeah, and that's when Myles started.
And Myles started to play with him. Yeah. So this sobriety to me has been incredible for Slash. So
yeah,
there's probably some people that are like, no, I like it when I like the other stuff better. Maybe, but
well, hey, people say that a lot of good music came out of drugs and alcohol.
Yeah,
so, that's probably true, unfortunately.
It does, and it comes out of kind of torment as well, right? So there's that piece of it. But yeah, I think Slash, good for him, good for Nicky. Hopefully Nicky gets to go on tour with his band, but I doubt it.
I doubt it too. But speaking of Myles is taking his solo gig on the road, is going to be hitting a bunch of cities, and guess who's opening for him?
Who?
Tyler Bryant.
Unbelievable. Now, but I saw this. It's cool, but I saw this, Dave. It's going to be Myles. So there's like good news and bad news. The bad news is,
break it to me.
The bad news is Tyler Bryant is doing solo acoustic opening gigs for this. It's not Tyler Bryant and the Shakedown. It's just Tyler Bryant. But the good news is before, like last time when Myles did his first solo album, 5 years ago or so, he went out on a solo acoustic tour to support it. Now he's bringing the whole band. He's bringing a whole band with him.
Yeah, of course.
So that's cool. That's
going to be a good
that's
show,
cool. Yeah.
Tyler Bryant's solo acoustic.
It's not.
Tyler Bryant's incredible. He's not the same. He's not the same act as a solo acoustic artist.
I mean, look, would he be entertaining to watch with the solo acoustic stuff? Yeah, it'd be good. Is it like watching a Tyler Bryant the Shakedown show? No freaking way.
Not even close.
So yeah, I'm a little disappointed to hear that. So, but this is the thing, Dave. It's not coming up by us anyway. So we're not going to have an opportunity to see it unless we want to do a road trip.
We might consider doing a road
trip.
Maybe
we do a road trip down to the Jersey, New York area. Maybe we do that.
Maybe we do. Yeah, they are playing the Jersey, New York.
They're not coming up here, but they're kind of doing a whole kind of like East Coast / Midwest tour. So if you're interested in Myles Kennedy, go and check that out. And like we've said before on the podcast when it was released, his latest solo album is really good. It's in my opinion much better than his first one. Blows it away in my opinion.
Oh, blows it away by Myles.
Yeah,
no pun intended.
Yeah.
But speaking
Guitar
of
Dads,
I wonder if Myles is kind of shrinking his tour down because there is rumors out there. There's not rumors. There's truth out there that Alter Bridge is going to be going back into the studio. Slash and Myles are going to go back into the studio if they aren't already.
Oh yeah.
And so he's probably getting ready to have to support those
Oh.
albums too. So he can't go on such a long tour by himself,
But I did see, this is another piece of news, Dave, that we don't have on our list here, but I saw that Tremonti is releasing another Tremonti album. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
Yeah. So that's be cool. I have to check that out. Again, we might have talked about this before, but that's a little bit heavier than my taste. It's heavier than Alter Bridge.
Yeah, right? Definitely heavier than Alter Bridge.
But it's awesome.
Yeah, he's a surprisingly good singer.
He really is. He's a real surprisingly good rock singer, hard rock singer. Yeah. So he's great. So I'll definitely have to check out that new album. Have you listened to some of his stuff? It's really good.
It's really good.
So I'm definitely going to check that out. But it looks like he's going to probably go on a small tour to support that as well with Tremonti. Yeah. So these guys are a little bit doing their solo thing for now. But I agree with you. I think come the winter and hopefully they get back into the studio with Slash and with Alter Bridge and get all this new because Slash has been writing this whole time and has all kinds of stuff.
All kinds of stuff.
And we've talked about this.
Yeah.
We've talked about this, maybe there's also some GNR stuff coming. That'd be
there is that rumor that's been floated around in many places. So that would be kind of cool.
That would be very cool. But anyway, so that's that.
Speaking of cash cows, We go from Guns N' Roses to Queen. Did you know? I just saw this number today, and I was kind of, I don't know whether to be surprised or not surprised, but they are still pulling in 137K a day from Bohemian Rhapsody.
Makes sense. Yeah, I mean
that's just nuts.
Do you mean the movie itself or just the song?
The movie itself.
The movie. Not the individual
not the
song.
No, the movie.
Oh yeah, the movie was just a mega hit. You know, this is the thing about movies, right? Like you don't have to be a fan.
But that's 137K a day.
You don't have to be a fan of the music to enjoy the movie. I mean, it helps,
right.
but I'm sure they still make a ton of money off of the spins on all their stuff, and you know they show up in commercials all the time. Like, yep, that's a good living.
And did you also hear this, that Paramount Plus, I haven't actually checked out any content on Paramount Plus, but I may check this out. They are rebooting, because they're rebooting a bunch of shows.
Why is everything Plus? Paramount Plus, Disney Plus.
I know, everything's Plus.
I don't have Paramount Plus. I didn't know that was another streaming. Sooner or later, someone's going to combine all these and call them cable.
Exactly. But yeah, Paramount Plus is rebooting a bunch of shows, one of which is Behind the Music. That was like one of my favorite shows.
It was the best show ever. Yes. It was great.
But the lineup, not so great. They're going to do 8 episodes, and the only notables on there will be Bret Michaels and Huey Lewis, actually.
These are new ones they're going to produce?
New ones.
Oh, really cool.
Yeah.
I would love to see the Huey Lewis thing is a very sad story. He's got this horrible kind of ear problem. That is.
Oh, he does?
Yeah. Have you heard this about Huey Lewis?
No, I don't know the story.
Huey Lewis has, you would probably know it since you're in healthcare. Some disease that really impacts his hearing and is like balance, right? So it's like hearing and also like he gets like intense like vertigo and stuff. It sounds absolutely horrible. So like sadly, I think like he's kind of done, which is really a sad situation because he's really incredible. So
we'll send him my way. I'll treat him.
And they're gonna do a thing just with Bret Michaels and not Poison as a whole. Like that's they did Poison.
Michaels, so, yeah, they did Poison. It just said Bret Michaels.
They should do some more recent bands. Like they should. I'd be interested to hear about all these like more recent kind of pop bands and all the way the industry works now with pop and all that. That'd be more interesting, honestly, than trying to have all these.
It totally will
all these nostalgia acts.
Yeah. No, it will.
Yeah.
It would be more interesting.
But that's actually really cool, Dave. Now I'm going to have to subscribe to Paramount Plus.
See, now you got to join Paramount Plus.
Jeez.
You're right. One of these days, somebody's just going to wrap it up. Cable.
But they can't do that because of all the rights to all the different movies and stuff. It's completely crazy, this streaming
Completely
stuff.
Crazy, yeah.
Oh, my God. So now you got to get Paramount, and they all try to hook you in with these cool shows.
They all try to hook you in.
Well, you know what? There's all kinds of cool, speaking of TV, there's all kinds of cool shows on Access TV. Do you get Access TV?
I don't. I think I do get Access TV.
Oh my God, there's so many cool shows on there that are like rock shows. Like Lizzie Hale hosts one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, I gotta check that out.
So it's like, I don't get this channel. I'm going to have to like, call my cable and be like, can I get this channel? You remember like Sammy Hagar does a show?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then Brian Johnson also does a show from AC/DC, also does a show. There's some really cool shows that I'd love to just like binge watch them.
That's total binge watching.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to have to get this Access TV channel. Yeah, it's called like, I think Sammy's show is called Rock and Roll Road Trip.
Yes, Rock and Roll Road Trip.
Which is just so cool. And Lizzie was doing
you can see episodes of that on YouTube too.
I know, but you can't see everything.
You can't see everything.
Yeah, it's annoying.
You can check it out if you want on YouTube.
You can, but they know that like they do it on purpose, and you can't get the whole. You can't pirate it as well. Maybe I'll try to pirate it. Of course
they do. They know exactly what they're doing.
I don't know. Maybe I'll try to pirate it, Dave. But anyway, is that it for our news and notes segment?
You heard it here first. Matt's going to commit a federal offense.
I'm not a
that's
pirate.
It for our news and notes segment, and we're gonna move on to a new segment called Comment Corner, which is where we scroll through Instagram, maybe an interesting post.
Comment Corner,
some of the funniest comments that we can find.
Well, but it's got to be like
Matt
music.
Does that,
it's got to be music or gear related.
It's going to be music or gear related, of course. Now, while Matt does that in typical guitar dad fashion, I believe my kids are knocking on the door.
Oh, okay, Dave, you take care of that. I'll talk about
I'll
this.
be right back.
This is the guitar dad thing. It's happened to me. So this is kind of gear related as well. We talked about this a few weeks back when John Mayer released the Last Train Home video, and he was playing a really cool looking pink Silver Sky, his signature Silver Sky from PRS, his signature guitar from PRS. So you don't know what this is? It's a Strat made by PRS. That's a John Mayer signature. But,
we're on the Silver Sky? Cool.
Yeah. So he released this thing, and now I lost it on Instagram. I got to find it. They actually now PRS just I think they just posted today that the pink Silver Sky is here. It's called Roxy Pink. Roxy Pink, which I think is the one that he was playing in the video. It looks
probably, yeah.
It looks like it. So
does it look like a little Fisher Price guitar?
I mean, yeah, it kind of does, to be honest with you. So Dave's referencing how the PRS Silver Sky, the body of it is slightly smaller than the Strat.
Yeah.
And like John Mayer's kind of a big, tall dude. He's like over 6 feet, right? He's like 6'2" or something.
I think he is tall. I think he's pretty tall.
Yeah. So like when he's playing
tall.
the Silver Sky in the video, like you just kind of notice, you're like, it looks like a small guitar on him. Like, what's going on here?
Does it really? Yeah, it does.
I remember my wife,
tiny.
Like my wife and I were watching his performance on Jimmy Kimmel, and she's like, "Is that guitar small?"
Yeah, it's
so
tiny.
It is a little bit smaller, you know. So, and then Dave had mentioned this. My wife had mentioned it. I was like, oh, that's a good point. So then I actually was at the guitar store and I saw one up on the wall, you know, next to some custom shop Strats, and I was like, oh, it is. The body is actually a little bit smaller than a traditional Strat.
Yeah.
So there you go. So the comments on this. I don't know if these are hilarious comments, Dave. I don't know how good podcasting this is, but a lot of people are really excited about this.
Anything really funny?
But somebody said, I want mine to be pink like the slime in Ghostbusters 2.
Oh, boy.
You remember this? You remember how the slime turned from green to pink in Ghostbusters 2?
Maybe they'll do a green. Maybe they'll do a green Silver Sky. Now, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody said, I thought it was a Strat at first. Like, yeah, no kidding. Everybody says that. And then so there are some comments about, oh, that's a nice Fender Strat. Some people are giving PRS a hard time, but it's like, dude, everybody makes a Strat style guitar. Like, let's get over this.
Wow, people are really weak on this on this post. Usually there's some really good stuff, but I think people are just getting they're getting away from it.
Somebody said only Mayer can pull that color off. This is a good one.
Probably true.
Someone said, do you accept cash, Visa, or kidneys?
That's good.
That's a good one. It is a good one because they cost you. You do have to sell a kidney basically. Although I think for a PRS, they're actually relatively affordable. They're like $2,000.
Yeah, that's right. That's like
it's actually not bad.
Off.
I mean, it's like they're like literally half the price than their core, line of like custom 24s and stuff. So, yeah.
Any more?
Let's see.
More comment?
Let's see.
This
is
weak, guys. You guys out there that are listening, you guys got to get on this stuff and get some good comments in there because it is really fun to read through
overall
comments.
People are very excited about this.
It's like the social media version of like people watching.
Yeah.
It's just going through social media comments.
Overall, people, yeah. So I think that's all. I think with the kidney was the best one of the day.
All right. Well, with that, we're gonna move on to gear time.
But people are extremely excited about these PRS, and I've never seen like such excitement over colors of guitars. Like,
yeah, it is interesting.
Like at NAMM 2020, before the end of the world happened, they released some really cool colors that kind of that kind of iridescent kind of silvery thing, and then when like the light hits it right, it's like a purple. What's that color?
Yeah.
It's like on cars you see it.
Yep.
And that like John Mayer was like inspired by like Tesla colors is what he said for this. So like they've been doing all these car colors, and they released that like in NAMM 2020, and people went absolutely berserk for that color. So
inspired by Inspired by Tesla or an electric guitar.
Yeah, exactly right. It's
Uh-huh.
it's very fitting. So anyway, so it's interesting. Like I never seen like there's such like a cult following around John Mayer, and especially this guitar. It's kind of unbelievable. So
It really is unbelievable.
anyway, want to get on to some more gear, Dave, before we wrap
Yeah,
up?
speaking of gear, what are we talking about tonight? There is a I saw
something.
this. I saw this and I thought it would be kind of interesting to talk about some affordable, and you want to talk about something too. Maybe some like we'll do like an affordable gear week. And I saw this yet another IR pedal that is out by this company Flamma.
I've never heard of this company, Flamma.
Yeah, exactly.
What is this company?
Probably a
Flamma?
pedal built in China, like everything else.
It's like a Chinese thing. Okay,
It's like a Chinese thing, right? But it's an IR. It's an IR. You know, you can it comes preset with I think like
a few IRs,
a few IRs, like 7 or 8 or 10,
yeah.
something like that. But you can also load your own.
Okay, so it's like the more radar.
Exactly, but it's like it's only like I think it's $88 US.
Okay,
So it's in the very very affordable range. And Mike, I guess the reason I found it interesting is because if you're interested in dabbling in IRs, is this something for you, right? I mean, if you're not like you're not like you that has the HX Stomp and you're very familiar with this kind of stuff, and you're just not really sure if you want to get into it. Is it worth buying like a cheap thing? Is it really going to do what it says it's going to do?
Well, I'll tell you what. The more radar, which I had when I was starting to get into this, I got it used for like $100. So I think new they're a little bit more money. And I sold it basically for what I paid for it. It's the only reason I got rid of it is because I got an HX Stomp. It's a great the more radar is this great little pedal that comes preloaded with IRs and with power amp simulations. So you can put like preamp pedals into it and, get a really great sound, like a direct sound, right? This is all for direct. You're not going to put this into an amp that you're going to put this into a PA, like right into a PA, or if you're using in your monitors or something like that. But this is cool. This is like a little bit more affordable, brand new. I looked at it briefly, Dave, when you mentioned it in our show notes, and it looks like the interface is a little bit easier to use on this.
Mm-hmm.
It looks
pretty straightforward.
It looks pretty straightforward to use. So yeah, I mean, again, if you're looking for a direct solution, either for recording, like even for recording, this could be great, right? If you don't have something like a Stomp, and you don't want to mic up an amp in your room, you could get something like this. And, if you have like a preamp kind of a pedal, you do. So that's the thing about this. You do need a preamp kind of a pedal.
You do need a preamp pedal, right?
But if you have that anyway and you want to see what it sounds like, in kind of and use IRs, and you don't want to like do all this, like download IRs and do all this stuff. And, if you don't have another way to do that, right? This is a great way to do it. So I agree.
No, I think it could be a great affordable option for people, and that's why I thought it was interesting to mention.
But it's also good for live use, right? Like for live use, if you're going kind of in to the board, like into a P, like I said, either PA or in-ears, this is like a direct solution, an ampless, pedal board solution that's pretty affordable. So, I mean, it's interesting how these things are getting more and more affordable. Yes, it's made in China. It's probably not the same quality you're getting, but like the more stuff I think is made in China as well. It's not, you're not getting the same quality as like a Strymon Iridium, right?
No,
it's not.
I would assume not.
That's not what it is, but it is cool, Dave, that you found this. I think there's more and more of these things, kind of affordable stuff coming up, and to see this more advanced technology starting to come out in a little more affordable way is pretty cool to see.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see. And definitely something that I would even check out for like $88, $90, just to kind of dabble in the IR world, just to see what it's like.
Yeah, but what would you put into it, Dave?
No, I'm just saying as an affordable option, if you kind of want to explore that world, it's a lot cheaper to kind of go this route than to get like a Stomp or do something like that, right?
Yeah. Well, the other option to get into the IR world is a lot more. It costs a lot more, but not that much more. Is to get like a load box where you can turn your amp into a direct a direct
Yes.
amp.
Yeah.
So I think for the home, for someone that's looking for do home recording and wants to get into IRs and not mic up their amps, the Torpedo Captor is just is great. And I think, new they're like $250.
I think they're like, I was just going to say they're a lot more money for, well, not a lot. Well, you're right. It's not a lot
that's
more.
not a lot.
I mean,
people pay $250
but if you're looking for
for
something
pedals.
that's cheap,
But this is, right. This is much cheaper. And if you already have like a couple of preamp type of pedals that you think could work as a direct thing with an IR on top of it, this is a great way to do it because without, you don't have a lot of options. You have like the more radar, which is great. And then from there, it just goes way up to like the stuff that is like the 2 Notes Cab M pedal itself is like $300. So you're right.
It starts getting a little more expensive.
It starts getting pricey. So I think you're right. This is kind of cool. So good shout out, Dave.
Yeah. So there we go. We're trying to save the Guitar Dads money while making good gear suggestions.
But yeah, I think
now for all we know, that thing could suck.
Yeah, but if you're into like I said, if you want to get into this kind of direct guitar stuff, whether for live or recording, and also like a silent playing really good tones in like headphones.
Exactly.
That's or studio monitors that you can put down to a really low level.
Again, perfect for the Guitar Dad and that recording world, that nighttime playing world. Bedtime bedroom sound.
Yeah. So that's actually a really good point. Like I've always said when people are like, "Oh, I'm looking for a practice amp." Yes, the Katana is a really low price, amazing option. The Yamaha TH10, whatever it's called, these are great options. But like something like this, where you're gonna get get IRs and maybe get a few different preamp pedals and use those with that. I mean, that can be an incredible sound that you can experiment with for not a lot of money. So anyway, something to think about instead of getting a Katana, because the Katana is great, but it's not everybody's cup of tea. So.
It is great, but I'll tell you that the Katana 50 that I have is great, but it really sounds good when it's cranked up and you have it on the 25 watt or 50 watt setting. At that quarter watt, I mean, yes, you can dial in some great tones, but is it really that great? It really shines at regular power. It really does.
Interesting.
I mean, obviously, but it is a great option.
Well, volume.
If you're looking for something that you want to dial in great tones, keep it low, and still enjoy yourself while you're playing at night and not waking your kids up. But it definitely, the thing really shines. And maybe the I don't know, I'm sure the 100 watt one's the same, but it really does shine at full power.
Yeah, I mean, volume in general is better, right? Like with any, like even with the Stomp, right? Like I'll play the Stomp through my studio monitors. Turning it up loud is better, sounds better, but you can still you can still get really good tones at low volume. Whereas you may, if you're using a tube amp and you love it, even if it's got a good master volume on it, you're not that excited about the tone at low volume. You're just not.
That's right.
So these are so there's all kinds of solutions to get low volume sounds. It's not just go buy like a practice amp that may not be the best thing for you.
Right.
So
exactly.
Anyway, Dave,
that's a very good point.
There's other gear we want to talk about, but we are coming up to the end of the Guitar Dads podcast for this week, so we might have to save it for next week and keep everybody in suspense.
Yeah, let's keep them in suspense. That is the end, right? That the train has hit the station.
The train's hit the station. We've run out of time this week, so thank you for listening. Again, check us out on Instas. Check us out on everywhere. Check us out on YouTube. Send us your comments and your suggestions. We really appreciate hearing from you all, and we're so happy you guys are listening. It's really great to see. And
thank you.
Yes, and that's the Guitar Dads podcast.
That's it. We'll see you next week.
Catch you guys on the flip.